Hey girlies, it's your girl back with another video. So for today's video, it is Valentine's Day. And I was anticipating having this video up before Valentine's Day, but it's okay. I'm gonna get into why that is a little bit later. I wanted to do a chit chat, get ready with me, talking about relationships and my advice. Granted, I am not a relationship coach. I am not a therapist. I am not these things. I'm not any of these things, but I do have life experience. So if you guys want to chit chat and get ready with me, I want to do I want to say like a date night look, even though it's not for Valentine's Day. I wanted it to be like a Valentine's Day date night look that you guys could do, but it's still gonna be for a good date night. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So if you're interested, then just stay tuned. Hey y'all, thank y'all so much for being here. If you're new here, my name is Karina. I upload a lot of chit chat, get ready with me's. I love watching these, especially while I'm getting ready, while I'm cleaning, while I'm, I don't know, doing laundry, all these things. I always just like to put something in the background. And I really like watching these because I know you don't always necessarily have to be like watching it. You can just like listen to it. So yeah. But anyways, today, as I said in the intro, I do want to do a chit chat, get ready with me, talking about relationships and my advice to y'all. And granted, you might not want to take it because who am I, right? Like, who the fuck am I? But I did just want to just share my 2 cents because I feel like, you know, if anything, maybe I can help one person or shift a perspective in a different way. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Okay, so first things first, these bangs, y'all. These bangs are high maintenance. So if you're deciding in between, do you want bangs or not, just know that they're a lot of work. They take a lot of maintenance, and yeah, sometimes when I'm around the house, I don't worry about them, but if I'm going out, then that's when I, you know, do them up or whatever. I did already apply some sunscreen earlier today, and I went to get my wax. I was concerned because I was like, oh my gosh, it's like last minute. I don't know if they're gonna have like openings or whatever, but there's a wax place in Indian Trail. It's called Pure Sugar Brazilian Wax, and they do accept walk-ins. So they've been open for 6 months now, and so they're still gaining their clientele, and so usually they're open for walk-ins. So I called them up and I was like, hey, are y'all able to fit in a walk-in? Because I know they have on their website, it says they accept walk-ins Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I called them and said they were ready, they were good to go on walk-ins, so I went and got my wax. Anyways, so let's get ready. I'm gonna go in with primer. I'm gonna go in with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer, just a little bit, even though I told Justin I didn't really want to go anywhere or do anything today on Valentine's Day for Valentine's Day. I just feel like all restaurants get super packed, and it's just really not for me. Like, I like to be like at peace. Like, whenever I'm going to a restaurant to eat, I really just like to like sit down and enjoy the time there. And when I was in college, I used to work at a restaurant, and their busiest days were always Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So it was just a lot. The kitchen always ran into issues. They would make 2 separate 2-top tables out of a 4-top. So it'd just be a bunch of like little tables, and it was just like not the vibe that I wanted to be in for Valentine's Day. So I told Justin I didn't really want to do any of that on Valentine's Day. He was able to come home for work. Originally I thought he was gonna be in Virginia for work, but he told me he was gonna be able to come home. So I told him maybe we can like make some pizzas at home, and I'm excited. So that's what me and him are doing later. So I'm gonna get ready, get cute, and then yeah, whatever. But anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna go with my concealer. This is my L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Concealer. These concealers are really good. If y'all haven't tried them, y'all want a cheaper option, these are really good. So anyways, I did write down a few little notes so I can keep myself in line for my topics I want to cover. So for the first one, and this is like, it might sound silly to some people because it's like, duh, like you would think most people would like know this, and maybe some people don't think that it's something that matters, but I think I started becoming more comfortable with dating when I became more confident in the person that I was. And I feel like I was able to attract more of the people that I wanted to be involved with when I was just my most confident self. I feel like, I want to say this was more so when I was like 22 to 23-ish was when I was starting to become more confident in who I was, and that helped me just be more myself when I started meeting new people. I feel like sometimes when you're like meeting new guys, some people are like afraid to like show up as their authentic selves, and I feel like that's where some people go wrong, because the guys, a real man loves a confident woman. I don't care who you ask, and maybe I got it all wrong, right? I don't know. But the guys, they love a confident woman. They love when you're like confident in who you are and when you stand on that. So I think that's number one. And I feel like a lot of the girlies I don't know, they're like, oh, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be too much of this. I don't want to be too much of that. No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as too much for the right guy. Like if you're like super emotional, if you're super like, oh, super touchy, oh, you want to hit him up all the time, like you're never gonna be annoying to the wrong guy. And it's like, if you're annoying to somebody, then they're probably not for you. Simple as that. I'm gonna be going in with my IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is a really good foundation to use. This is one of my like go-tos these days. I really like the shade match, and I just really like the coverage on this one too. I've been using this one also because I have a backup, so I'm like, let me go ahead and finish this one out so that way I can like, you know, get to my backup. But anyways, yeah, be confident in who you are. Like know the person that you are, and don't be afraid of standing in that, because I promise you, you will attract the right people when you show up as your authentic self. Like you can't go wrong. Because, you know, let's say you pretend to be a little bit more mysterious or a little bit more quiet or a little bit more whatever, and then 3 months down the road, you're like tired of acting this way, and then you wonder why your partner is not acting the same way towards you. Or I don't know, right? Like, so just be who you are, know who you are, and stand in that. Be confident in that. Do not be afraid to speak up about whatever it is that you want to speak up about. And that brings me to my next point. In dating, it doesn't matter if you're boyfriend and girlfriend or not. Like, there should be open communication about everything. Expectations should be communicated about super early on, because that's where it starts getting sticky. I think that's when some people can get caught into the trap of situationships. And situationships aren't really as hard as people make them out to be. When you're with a man who really wants to be with you and only you, there will be no gray area. I promise you, no confusion, no nothing. I'm sorry, and I hate to break it to you guys, because, you know, sometimes it's like, well, this, well, that. No, if he wants to be with you, he will. This is coming from somebody who, I was in a situationship at one point, and I remember one time this person got mad at me because I was texting other guys, and I was like, okay, but me and you have never like said that it's just me and you, so like, what is you getting mad at me for? And then come to find out, you know, he was doing his thing too, so it's just like, what was you really getting mad for? Some people like to fall into the whole what's understood don't gotta be explained. And it's just like, no, if he doesn't ask you to be his girlfriend, you're not his girlfriend. Do not get caught into that either. I'm gonna do my, I feel like I'm going all in right now, but it's okay. I'm gonna do my eyebrows off camera because I cannot speak and do eyebrows at the same time. So I'll be right back. All right, y'all, eyebrows are on. It's giving Frida Kahlo, but let's keep going. Okay, so as I was saying, on to my next little bullet point. If you're still dating and you're not like in a real serious relationship and you're trying to find your one, I think it's very important to date with intention. Now, what does that mean? It means that the intention, for me, when I got to that point, I felt like my intention was to find my one that I would exit the dating pool with. So I remember I was dating a couple men, and you know, just getting to know them, whatever, going on dates. So there was this one time I was hanging out with this guy, and then we were in a drive-thru cookout to get some food. And I remember thinking to myself, I cannot wait to get home. Like, I was so ready to be home, and I was like, wow. And then within that same moment when I was feeling this way, I was like, wow, if I feel this way, I probably don't need to be spending more time with this guy. It's about being aware of how you're feeling and acting accordingly. Like, why would I keep spending my time with this guy if I generally don't really enjoy like being here, you know? But anyways, that was that story. And then there was this one time, and I've already told my boyfriend about these instances, so I'm like trying to tread very respectfully with these stories, right? But anyways, there was one time I was talking to this dude, and I remember he had just moved to Uptown. Uptown is here, like they call it the city or whatever. And then he invited me to his apartment because he had just moved in or whatever. And so I come over, and then he was like unpacking some things. And then he was like, hey, do you mind helping me set up my Wi-Fi? I can't figure it out. And in my head, I was like, what do you mean you can't figure it out? And this might sound really silly to a lot of people, but I was like, I caught the biggest ick. I was like, I need a man that's gonna figure it out. Like, what? I was like, no. And I got the biggest ick, and that man never saw me again. So Yeah, 'cause in my head, I was like, I need me a man. Like, I need a man that's gonna figure shit out. Like, there's this one TikTok, and I'm gonna play it right here just so you guys can see it, because this is the kind of man that I have, and this is the kind of man that I'm so thankful for.
Look, the girl said, I don't know nothing about that, 'cause my man is a boss. It's already handled. And I just got on here to say that she was talking about my man, who is not also her man. Not the same man, just to clarify, okay? But same, sis. Because when I tell you, you better get you one. Because look, Olivia, no Pope, is handled. One call, that's all. All I got to do is look confused. And it's done. Oh! Sha-na-na-na-na!
Like, I just gotta look confused and he gonna take care of it. Anyways, yeah, so I feel like it's also being very aware of what you truly want in a man. And if somebody is not these things, don't be there anymore. Like, there's no point of spending time somewhere and wasting more of your time and their time when you ultimately know what you want. I was at a point in my life where I had prayed to God. I was like, God, I am ready for something real, like the realest thing. Like, I'm ready. Like, I said this out loud, and it was so crazy because I feel like that, like, I prayed and God answered, and that's when I met my man, and it was really so crazy. But I feel like it happened when it was meant to happen, and he was everything that I was looking for. And it's also really crazy because I remember, you know how some people say, hey, like, the perfect man doesn't exist, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like, and maybe I'm one of the lucky ones, right? I feel like I got everything that I wanted. And I think it's also, I showed up as my authentic self. You really just have to have a pure heart, and you want to move the way you want your partner to move on the other side, even if you're just dating. Like, you can't expect for a man to only be about you and you're out here still texting all of these guys. You know what I'm saying? But if you are going to be doing those things, make sure there's clear communication on like, hey, like, this is what we're doing. Like, let me know when you want to be for real, you want to be exclusive, whatever. And I feel like that's how people should go about it. And I feel like people get further if you're more clear about what the intentions are. I remember when I first met my boyfriend, we were still dating, we were still talking. And I had told him, I was like, hey, like, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket just yet. And I remember he told me, he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna just wait for you to realize that I'm the one. That's a man. Some men can't handle that. And even though it wasn't like, oh, I'm talking to all of these guys, because I wasn't, but I was still like putting it out there that, you know, this is where my head is at. And yeah, it didn't take much longer before I did realize this was the one. Like, I remember we only talked for like 3 weeks and then we started dating. So crazy. But anyways, let me keep going. So to my next point, I feel like we live in a world of, well, I don't know, but I know for me in the past, I was very good at making excuses for the guys I was dating. And it's just like, I guess I was just trying to see the benefit of the doubt, but oftentimes that bit me in the butt. I just want everybody to know that if a man wanted to, he will. He would. Like, when a man truly wants something, he will do anything in his willpower to get it. I think that's Justin getting home. Yeah, it is. Justin, my boyfriend's name is Justin, for anybody who doesn't know. When we first started dating, he didn't live in Charlotte. Mind you, he would come every weekend to come see me. Every weekend. And I'm not saying everybody might have the same means available, the same opportunity, right? But he wanted to, so he made it happen. He was able to because he had a friend that lived here in Charlotte, so he was able to stay with him whenever he wanted to see me. So that was nice. I'm gonna go say hi to him really fast and I come back. I always get super nervous when he comes home because I feel like he can hear me. I'm trying to get like out of that. To my next point, with it being Valentine's Day, and I was gonna post something like this, something similar to this on my story. I saw a post the other day. Let me see if I can find it. It was on Instagram. It says, if that man don't buy you nothing for Valentine's Day, don't talk to him no more. And I cannot agree 100 times more and 100 times over. If you think you're talking to a guy and you think that it can go somewhere and he does nothing for you on Valentine's Day, I don't care if it's not even just get you flowers, get you a letter, cook for you, something. It could be anything, but it has to be effort. If he doesn't do anything for you on Valentine's Day or tell you nothing, he probably doesn't like you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news or to break anybody's heart, but sometimes we have to like think, hay que enterrar los pies en la tierra. Like if he doesn't do anything for you, he probably doesn't like you. Or he doesn't like you enough to make you want to feel special. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, not only does he not care about wanting to make you feel special, but he also does not care that he might hurt your feelings. Valentine's Day, obviously if you care for somebody and you want them to feel special, you're gonna do something for them. If some guys, their mentality is, I'm not gonna do anything for her so I don't send off the wrong signal. Whole time it's gonna hurt your feelings. Anyways, Valentine's Day, it doesn't have to mean anything, but it honestly, if he cares about you, he's gonna do something for you. All right, I'm just setting my eyes with my setting powder, and then I'm gonna go in with the quickest, easiest eyeshadow look that you can ever do for date night. Sometimes I do this just to do something really quick and easy. So let me go ahead and get started with that. I did mention earlier that I wanted to post this video before Valentine's Day or on today, have it ready to post today on Valentine's Day, but I couldn't because my laptop stopped working. And it's still working, like the MacBook still turns on. I edit my videos on Final Cut. So I was editing one day and my screen just shut off. I'm like, what's going on? And then I noticed that I can open my screen a little bit and the screen will still be on. And then once I open it all the way, like maybe past a 45-degree angle, it just shuts off. So I'm thinking there's some kind of shortage or something. So I'm going to Apple tomorrow and I made an appointment so they can look at it. And hopefully they can fix it. And hopefully it doesn't cause an arm and a leg to fix, because I've had that MacBook now since 2018. I remember I bought it my senior year of college. So it has still been going strong except for that. And I don't want to have to buy a whole new computer just to edit. So I don't know, but hopefully they gave me good news tomorrow and hopefully they can fix it. So fingers crossed. All right, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in so we can do this eye look. Okay, so what you want to do is just choose a nice chocolate brown color. I'm going to use this one. This is in my Dominique Cosmetics Transition palette. So I'm going to use this one called Mocha. And you want to start, honestly, just like a nice little fluffy brush, and I just grab a little bit. And you want to start on your eyelid, like on your actual eyelid, as close as you can to your lash line. And what you want to do is like slowly apply it and build it up and blend upwards. It's like doing a super easy smoky moment without it being too smoky, without it being too dark, but still giving dimension to your eyes. I feel like it's a really sexy look to do. And I feel like this is one super easy, especially for all the girlies who aren't really makeup girlies, but you want to do a little something. And I feel like everybody has a nude color palette that has a nice brown in it. So this would be super easy to do. So now with a smaller brush, you kind of just want to blend it out some more. Don't go too high with this one. You want to stop where your crease starts. I'm gonna add a little bit more on my lash line. And that's really it, honestly. Like, you don't want to do too much. I feel like that is the easiest way to do your eyeshadow for a cute little date night. And I feel like it just adds some more, like, definition to your eye without doing too much. I really used to like doing the cut crease moments, but those are sometimes hard to do. Sometimes they stress you out, and sometimes they just require a lot more effort, and sometimes you just don't want to do all of that. You still want to look cute, you still want to do some eyeshadow. Sometimes you just don't want to do too much. So anyways, back to my advice. So I did mention me and Justin have been dating for a little over 2 years now. We started dating in September of 2021. It was so funny because I remember he had asked me to be his girlfriend on 9/11. And I was like, I was like, you're gonna have to ask me again tomorrow because we're not about to have 9/11 as our anniversary date. I'm not doing that. For my couples out there, anybody that is in the dating world, every relationship is not perfect either. You know, me and Justin, I think we have a very healthy relationship, but we still argue. And sometimes, most of the time, it's about the silliest things. But I feel like my advice when it comes to dealing with problems and issues that arise or things that come up, you want to tackle these problems together. And you don't want to let pride and ego get in the way of dealing and getting through things. Like, you want to tackle problems like you and your partner against a problem and not you and your partner against each other. I really like that one quote that says, love is patient, love is kind. It is not boastful, it's not envy. So it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And I've always loved that quote ever since I've heard it in that one movie. I don't know if you have seen A Walk to Remember. It's such a good movie. It's so sad, but it's a really good movie. I really love it. I made Justin watch it with me and he thought it was a really good movie too. But yeah, I always like to go by that. I like to just keep it in mind because I think sometimes it can be easy to be petty or do things out of spite or do things or out of ego, and like, oh, I'm gonna give him silent treatment, and I'm gonna make him feel this way because he made me feel this way. And I don't think that's like a healthy way to go about things. I think if you really want to get through a problem, you need to get through it in a healthy way, in a way that's not gonna make your partner even more sad or hurt your relationship even more. We're all human and we're all gonna mess up and trip up, but as long as you're putting in the effort to get better and y'all both know that you two are picking each other to be with, you can get through anything. All right, lashes are on, so we're just gonna keep going. And I feel like I hit most of the topics that I want to talk about, but I do want to roll back around to the first one that I made because I just want to really emphasize, because I feel like a lot of girlies don't really realize the power that they have within themselves. And when you are confident in the woman that you are, it really shows and it shines and radiates through you. I just want all the girlies to love themselves and take care of themselves and be themselves authentically, and that will really attract all the right people in your life, whether it be guys or girls, even in your friendships. I feel like it's super important to be your authentic self. I've always been in love with a girl since college, I want to say even since like pre-K. I've always been a lover girl. I remember I used to have this crush in my pre-K class, and we would have a nap time. At this pre-K class, whenever we had nap time, we would pull out our beds and then we would like place them all around the room. And I remember I used to always want to place my bed right next to this other little kid. And it was so funny because I remember we would like play while we were sleeping. It was so funny. But yeah, I've always been a lover girl. I've always loved romantic movies, all the little like cheesy shows. I've always been a little girl. I love love, and I love to see people in healthy relationships. I think we are all deserving of the love that we desire and that we crave. I think more people should not be afraid of admitting that they crave romantic love. I think we were created in pairs for a reason. Like, you know, I think some people are also in relationships that they are unsure about, they're not happy in, because they're afraid that they're not gonna find this again, or they're not gonna find this type of connection again. Meanwhile, it's a very unhealthy relationship. And trust me, I've been there, so I can understand that sentiment. I remember one time I was dating this guy, and this was more so around the time where I was becoming more confident woman, and I was thinking in my head he was the reason that I was able to be this person and felt this comfortable with. But the whole time, like hindsight is 2020, this was just a time where I was just becoming more confident in myself. But at the time, I was giving him all the credit when he was not deserving of that. That was my most toxic relationship ever. I remember he would like accuse me of cheating and doing all this and doing all that. And at the time, this guy, he didn't have a job, so he was broke. And I was still trying to look past that. So I was like, you know what? It's not about that. But looking back now, it's more so, we were, I mean, mid-20s, but at the time I was working my corporate job and I was doing nails. So I was like busting my ass making money, right? And he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't working. He was like trying to find a job. He finally found one, but it was like he wasn't really like doing enough to like be in a better position. I felt like at that point it becomes less about the money and more so about the mindset. Like, this is not the kind of person that you want to be with, you know? And then kind of find out this man was cheating on me, so you know, he was not the one. I gave him the credit of, oh, this is the first person that I'm able to be my complete self around, and you know, we just meshed so well, this and that, blah blah blah. The whole time it was just me. I was the reason why we meshed so well. I was the reason that this was such a good relationship. It was not him, it was me. When I remember when he cheated on me, I was like even like thinking about, oh, like maybe trying to like fix things. But thank God I didn't, because he was not deserving of that. I was holding on because I was like, I'm never gonna find this type of connection again. And I was so scared that I wasn't gonna find it ever again. And then one of my really close friends, I remember I told her about it, and she was like, well, deep down you know. Like deep down you always know what to do. And I feel like that's that's been like one of my greatest pieces of advice that I have ever gotten, because deep down you always know. It might be a hard truth, it might be something that you don't want to accept all the way because you want to keep this person because the good seem to outweigh the bad. But no, you deserve way better. And I think deep down you always know. So I feel like if you can take anything away from this video, is follow your intuition and follow your heart. Deep down you always know. Like, you always know. And that's it. I'm gonna quickly finish my lips off camera and do my hair and then come back to wrap this up. Okay, so lips are on and bangs are done. I've really been loving this like side part moment with my bangs straight forward. I feel like it looks really cute. It's giving like, there's like, I don't know if y'all have, I know most of y'all have seen the Mean Girls movie. Regina, she did her bangs, like her bangs weren't as thick as mine, but she like would do the side part with like the bangs forward, and I just really like the moment. I feel like it's really cute, very, I don't know if it's getting like 90s or something, but I really do like the 90s vibe, low-key. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I did not cover everything, obviously, because relationships are very, very broad and very wide, very intricate and very complex things. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and also give me a thumbs up. It would really help me out. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.